Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about Naked Brands groups once more. I'm going through institutional interest, technical analysis, due diligence updates, latest news, etc. So let's jump right into this one. So before we go towards even the earnings here, I did cover this one previously in the last video in the description below, but let's take a look into the latest news. And some of the latest news including their divestitures. So over here, Naked Brand Group announces final results of extraordinary general meeting and closing of Bendon divestitures. So the final tabulation of the votes including 118 million for and 2 million against, and almost around only 776,000 abstain. So the shareholders have signed a definitive agreement to the divestiture and simultaneously closed transactions on Friday, April 30th to sell that brand off the Bendon divestitures, or the Bendon brand, my bad. And the idea of this one here is to go from brick and mortar and going on towards more of an e-commerce leader in apparel or intimate apparels. And so that's already done over here. So we get a bit more information regarding into this one here. The company sold all issued shares of capital in Bendon to buyers for $1 subject to adjustment described below on the terms and conditions outlined. Now the sale price is subject to adjustments based on target inventory amount on adjusted net cash/debt and the working capital. The inventory adjustments resulted in a payment for the company Bendon about 4.8 million New Zealand dollars, and the net cash/debt and working capital adjustments are to be prepared within 30 days of completion. Now, if the buyer or Mr. Davis Rice and Mrs. Johnson agree to sell the shares in Bendon or its business with 3 years following closing of the divestiture of the company, they will be entitled for the percentage of the net proceeds of sale, with such percentage being 75% of the first year, 50% on the second, and 25% on the third. And it does go on, move on a bit regarding loans, etc., exact fees, the list goes on. But nonetheless, I don't think any of these are actually more important than what's going on next. This one here, the Naked Brand Group Limited receives NASDAQ notice of minimum bid price of non-compliance. I did talk about this one in the last video, and I did anticipate it coming, and we actually see it here. They haven't met their dollar requirement for 30 consecutive days, and the company therefore is not under compliance. And so it's non-compliant, and it has 180 days until it reaches compliance. So the deadline there is October 25th, 2021. And to regain compliance, they will need to have the minimum bid requirement, which is $1 for a minimum of 10 consecutive business days. NASDAQ will provide a company a written confirmation of compliance, and the matter will be closed. Now, they could always do a reverse split, etc. But the last thing I want to talk about before moving on towards technical analysis is their quarter earnings. And if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to scroll down below, click that like button, and if you would like to join our Discord, you'll find it under Show More, and join my Discord right here. And you'll find also somewhere around here to subscribe. Please do so if you would like to see more contents like this. Now, regarding the earnings that I was talking about, so for the latest quarter or annual filings, this one here seems to be submitted every May or so. And it really goes on towards the 12-month ending of the year, January 31st, 2020, 2019, 2018. So far, we don't have the full year, so we might anticipate it coming sometime soon in early May. So the current earnings seems to be, well, it's going to be mixed because of the pandemic, probably a bit worse than 2020, but just keep in mind that an earning might actually be coming soon. Now, the other thing that I do want to talk about is the short interest. And the short interest here, I've seen some people mentioning 400%. I find no evidence for that. And currently, short flow is sitting somewhere around 9%, and that is somewhat backed up by the daily short interest by MarketBeat. Now, the next thing, by NASDAQ.com. And the next thing here we're looking at is the institutional interest. Now, the last thing was Alt Group adding shares on the 8th of April, and nothing more we do have other than Fidelity Composite Index adding on the 23rd of April, and so we can move on now towards technical analysis. Now, from a technical analysis standpoint, what we get to see here is on the MACD is attempting a positive reversal, or at least it looks like it to my side, and momentum is trying to go towards the positive side. The willing percent R is sitting closer towards the neutral than the oversold, and this indicates more of a bullish reversal attempting to happen. 10 SMA is below the 30 EMA, and that's a bad thing here, but the current price point is above the 50 SMA. Now, on a one-day perspective, what we see here is that the price point is below the 50 SMA, which is bearish, but the 50 SMA is above the 200 SMA, which is bullish. 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA, which is bullish as well. And there's also a trading action zone right below where positive reversals occur between the 68 cents and the 61 cents. Now, the current willing percent R shows it's actually overbought, and the MACD is showing perhaps it's going back towards more of a positive reversal testing, and also the momentum is one of the highest it's been for a while. The moving averages are a little bit interesting because it's attempting to go above the Bollinger Bands with higher volumes, indicating that it is trying to go for another leg up, which is supported by the stochastic fast and stochastic slow, but the current next resistance on the Fibonacci retracement shows that the resistance is sitting at 85 cents, following that 134, 173, 212, 268, and 340. Current support is sitting at 7 cents. Now, if we were to go through price line action in general, you see a very strong support sitting at the 66 cents. Below there, 58 cents, and below there, 48 cents. Another one sitting at 35 cents, and then at 29 cents. There's a very strong resistance at the 76 cents. Above there, 87 cents. Above there, the 101, and above there, 108. Going to 122, and then 136, jumping up to 153, 165, and up to 187. Comes to the question to Ed. What do you think about this one coming in soon? Well, first off, it looks like this downtrend is a little bit attempting a positive reversal going back upwards, and so that is quite interesting. Of course, with the massive divestitures from e-commerce and with the amount of cash that they did raise, thanks to a lot of retail investors, I do think that they might have for a longer term an interesting departure from their previous history. Now, I still do think that the industry itself of intimate apparel might be a little bit outdated itself. And if they do go ahead and adjust to that and update their style or marketing style, etc., they can do some impact on the e-commerce platforms. However, I do think that that might be more of months, if not a couple of years, before that goes through, and I'm still waiting on updates on earnings, etc., because they're not really giving us much on that. How much is the current e-commerce platform giving them money? How successful is it? We still need to know a bit more information, but overall, I think maybe a bit more bullish than bearish in the longer term perspective. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day.
Now, if you made it this far into the video, I do recommend that you go ahead and join our Discord server. There's a lot of amazing folks in here. We do a lot of discussions here into the trading floor throughout the day. A lot of people are in there, and we do ask questions. You can ask me any question you would like on there. We do post research and DDs, and we hold weekly chat sessions. And we also do have a lounge in there. So make sure to actually join that and join the fun there. Have a wonderful day and a good one.